Hold on tight, because this news will hit you like a ton of bricks. The world has lost a true icon. Diane Keaton, the Oscar-winning actress who brought Annie Hall to life and graced The Godfather with her presence, has reportedly passed away at the age of 79. Diane Keaton, a beacon of talent who illuminated the Ralph Lauren Spring 2023 fashion experience in Pasadena, California on October 13, 2022, has died. Her passing has sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment industry and beyond. Chris Pizzello, Envision AP, hide caption toggle caption. Chris Pizzello, Envision AP. Keaton's unique blend of quirky charm, undeniable talent, and profound depth made her a singular force in acting. From her unforgettable portrayal of Annie Hall to her compelling role as Kay Adams in the Godfather saga, she left an indelible mark on cinema. The news was confirmed to NPR by Dory Rath, a producer who worked on many of Keaton's films. At this time, no further details surrounding her death have been released. The sudden announcement has been met with disbelief and sadness around the globe. Bette Midler, who shared the screen with Keaton in The First Wives Club, expressed her grief in a heartfelt Instagram post. She was hilarious, a complete original, and completely without guile, or any of the competitiveness one would have expected from such a star. What you saw was who she was, oh la la la, Midler wrote, capturing the essence of Keaton's authentic and unpretentious nature. Keaton wasn't just an actress. She was a cinematic alchemist, transforming films into timeless classics. Remember her iconic la-di-da as Annie Hall, sporting that unforgettable necktie, bowler hat, vest, and khakis. Or her heartbreaking depiction of Kay Adams, forever bound to the Corleone family's dark legacy? These are the moments that cemented her status as a legend. Her meteoric rise in the 1970s, fueled by collaborations with Woody Allen, was no fleeting phenomenon. Keaton continued to captivate audiences for decades, thanks in part to her fruitful partnership with filmmaker Nancy Meyers. She wasn't afraid to take on diverse roles, playing a businesswoman who inherits a baby in Baby Boom, the mother of the bride in the beloved Father of the Bride remake, a newly single woman in The First Wives Club, and a divorced playwright entangled with Jack Nicholson's music executive in Something's Gotta Give. Keaton's stellar performance in Annie Hall earned her an Academy Award, the first of many accolades she would receive throughout her career. She went on to garner 3 more Oscar nominations for her roles in Reds, where she portrayed journalist and suffragist Louise Bryant, Marvin's Room, as a caregiver suddenly in need of care herself, and Something's Gotta Give, playing a middle-aged divorcee who becomes the object of affection for multiple men. In true Keaton fashion, her acceptance speech in 1978 was as charming and unconventional as she was. After winning the Oscar for Annie Hall, she simply laughed and exclaimed, "This is something." Born Diane Hall in Los Angeles in January 1946, Keaton's roots weren't embedded in the Hollywood scene. Her mother was a homemaker and photographer, while their father worked in real estate and civil engineering. However, both parents instilled in her a deep appreciation for the arts, from fashion to architecture. This early exposure would shape her artistic sensibilities and influence her personal style. From a young age, Keaton was drawn to theater and singing while attending school in Santa Ana, California. Driven by her passion, she dropped out of college after a year to pursue her dreams in Manhattan. Facing a common challenge for aspiring actors, she discovered that Actors Equity already had a Diane Hall in its ranks. To avoid confusion, she adopted Keaton, her mother's maiden name, as her stage name. In New York, Keaton honed her craft under the tutelage of renowned acting coach Sanford Meisner. She credited him with providing her the freedom to explore the complexities of human behavior within a safe and supportive environment. More than anything, Sanford Meisner helped me learn to appreciate the darker side of behavior, she wrote in her 2012 memoir, Then Again. I always had a knack for sensing it, but not yet the courage to delve into such dangerous, illuminating territory. Keaton's career began on the stage, where she served as an understudy in the Broadway production of Hair, and starred in Woody Allen's Play It Again, Sam in 1968, earning her a Tony nomination. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite her budding success, Keaton struggled with self-consciousness about her appearance and battled bulimia in her 20s. Keaton's film debut came in 1970 with the romantic comedy Lovers and Other Strangers, but her true breakthrough arrived a few years later when she was cast in Francis Ford Coppola's epic masterpiece, The Godfather. The film went on to win Best Picture and achieve iconic status, and this is the part most people miss. Even Keaton herself initially hesitated to return for the sequel, but after reading the script, she couldn't resist reprising her role. She summed up her role as Kay, a role she never related to, even though she savored memories of acting with Al Pacino. The 1970s proved to be an incredibly prolific period for Keaton, largely due to her ongoing collaboration with Allen in both comedic and dramatic roles. She appeared in Sleeper, Love and Death, Interiors, Manhattan, and the film adaptation of Play It Again, Sam. The 1977 crime drama Looking for Mr. Goodbar further solidified her reputation as a versatile and captivating actress. Allen and the late Marshall Brickman gifted Keaton with one of her most iconic roles in Annie Hall, the quirky and infectious woman from Chippewa Falls whom Allen's character Alvy Singer cannot seem to forget. The film is widely regarded as one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time, with Keaton's eccentric and self-deprecating Annie at its heart. In a review for the New York Times, critic Vincent Canby wrote, "As Annie Hall, Miss Keaton emerges as Woody Allen's Liv Ullmann. His camera finds beauty and emotional resources that somehow escape the notice of other directors. Her Annie Hall is a marvelous nut." Keaton herself acknowledged the parallels between Annie Hall and her real life, while also downplaying them. "My last name is Hall. Woody and I did share a significant romance, according to me, anyway," she wrote. "I did want to be a singer. I was insecure, and I did grope for words." Keaton and Allen's romantic relationship spanned from approximately 1968, when she met him during an audition for his play, until around 1974. Despite their romantic separation, they remained close collaborators and friends. She later appeared in his films Radio Days in 1987 and Manhattan Murder Mystery in 1993. "He was so hip, with his thick glasses and cool suits," Keaton wrote in her memoir. "But it was his manner that got me, his way of gesturing, his hands, his coughing and looking down in a self-deprecating way, while he told jokes." She was also romantically linked to Al Pacino, her on-screen husband in The Godfather, and Warren Beatty, who directed and co-starred with her in Reds. Keaton never married, but she embraced motherhood in her 50s, adopting 2 children, a daughter named Dexter and a son named Duke. "I figured the only way to realize my #1 dream of becoming an actual Broadway musical comedy star was to remain an adoring daughter. Loving a man, and becoming a wife would have to be put aside," she wrote in her memoir. "The names changed, from Dave to Woody, then Warren, and finally Al. Could I have made a lasting commitment to them? Hard to say. Subconsciously, I must have known it could never work, and because of this, they'd never get in the way of achieving my dreams." Not all of Keaton's roles were critical darlings, such as her venture into action with George Roy Hill's adaptation of John le Carré's Little Drummer Girl. But in 1987, she embarked on another enduring collaboration with Nancy Meyers, resulting in 4 beloved films. While reviews for their first collaboration, Baby Boom, directed by Charles Shire, may have been mixed, Pauline Kael lauded Keaton's performance as a glorious comedy performance that rides over many of the inanities. The next collaboration between Keaton and Meyers was the remake of Father of the Bride, which Shire directed and co-wrote with Meyers. She and Steve Martin played the flustered parents to the bride, which would become a big hit and spawn a sequel. In 2003, Meyers directed her in Something's Gotta Give, a romantic comedy where she begins a relationship with a playboy womanizer, played by Jack Nicholson, while also being pursued by a younger doctor, played by Keanu Reeves. Her character Erica Berry, with her beautiful Hamptons home and ivory outfits, became a key inspiration for the recent coastal grandmother fashion trend. The role earned her what would be her last Oscar nomination, and she later called it her favorite film. But here's where it gets controversial. Some critics argued that the film perpetuated ageist stereotypes, while others praised it for its portrayal of mature love. Keaton also dabbled in directing, helming an episode of Twin Peaks, a Belinda Carlisle music video, and the sister dramedy Hanging Up, which Nora Ephron and Delia Ephron co-wrote and starred alongside Meg Ryan and Lisa Kudrow. Throughout the 2000s, Keaton remained a steady presence on screen, delivering memorable performances in The Family Stone as a dying matriarch reluctant to part with her ring, Morning Glory as a morning news anchor, and the book club films. In addition to her acting career, Keaton authored several books, including the memoirs Then Again and Let's Just Say It Wasn't Pretty, as well as an art and design book titled The House That Pinterest Built. Keaton's remarkable career was celebrated with an AFI Life Achievement Award in 2017. Speaking to the AP at the time, she described the experience as surreal. "I feel like it's the wedding I never had, or the big gathering I never had, or the retirement party I never had, or all these things that I always avoided. The Big Bash," she said. "It's a big event for me, and I'm really, deeply grateful." In 2022, she cemented her legacy with a hand and footprint ceremony outside the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles, with her children looking on. "I don't think about my film legacy," she said at the event. "I'm just lucky to have been here at all, in any way, shape, or form. I'm just fortunate. I don't see myself anything other than that." Diane Keaton's passing marks the end of an era. Her talent, her wit, and her unique perspective on life will be deeply missed. What are your favorite Diane Keaton films? Do you agree with her own assessment of her career? Share your thoughts and memories in the comments below.